Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Mind Matter series. My name is Cookie Lago. I am the founder and director of Project for Vida. Project for Vida is a fiscally sponsored 501c3. Our mission is to create a resilient and empowered community through education on sustainability and emergency preparedness. The Mind Matter series is a series of different workshops by different mental health professionals to give people tools and resources on mental health and wellness. Today we have Angel Reese-Galloway, who is a social worker in Concord, California for Contra, Costa County Children and Family Services, facilitator and therapist with Cope Family Support Center out of Walnut Creek, California. She obtained her bachelor's in art, her bachelor's of arts degree, in psychology from Sonoma County State University, with a minor in criminal justice. Her master's in social work from California State University of East Bay, and is actively working on her dissertation for her PhD in Human Services Social Work at Walden University. Today, she will be doing a workshop on the importance of self-care. The importance of self-care while positive parenting in the midst of a crisis. So she'll be coming on right now. Please share the live, guys. These workshops are free. We just ask that you share the lives, get the resources out there to people. I know a lot of parents are gonna need this one. For a lot of parents, being at home with the children and having to educate them and having to be with them 24/7 is new to a lot of parents. So please share this live. This might help somebody out there. So that's what we ask. We do accept donations. You can donate through PayPal by using our email, projectforvida@gmail.com. And I'll turn it over to Angel Reese now. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hi, Angel.
Okay.
All right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good over here. Thank you for doing this.
Sure, no problem. Can you see my screen or?
Your shared screen? No, it's not. It's not there yet.
Okay, let me. Why will it not let me? I don't even have. Share system. Video setting. Let me go to more. I don't even see it on here this time.
You don't see the green share screen?
Maybe I should open this wider. Oh, there we are. I didn't have you wide enough. Okay. Okay, now you should be able to see it, right?
Yes.
And let me make sure the volume is on. Because we had that issue too.
Yes, we did.
Okay, I just turned that on.
All right.
But I don't see myself, so that's okay.
You don't see? Oh, okay. Well, we see you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Maybe, oh, maybe this is why. Okay, there we go. So whenever I'm ready.
Okay. All right, go take over. I'm gonna just mute myself.
Okay, so just start talking, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready. All right, welcome to Self-Care While Positive Parenting. And as we all know, children can be a blessing. So I'd like to start this with a Proverbs 22:6. You start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn away from what you taught them. So positive parenting, what is positive parenting? Our agenda today will talk about what positive parenting is. We'll look at the essential steps to positive parenting. We'll go through some mindfulness exercises that you can do in the midst of a crisis while positive parenting. You'll see a video on how to help your children understand the coronavirus. We're going to look at why it's important to take care of yourself. We're going to talk about some things that you can do to take care of yourself. We'll explore some family activities that you can do in the midst of this crisis. And then in the end, we'll have a chance for some questions and answers. So, positive parenting. What is positive parenting? Positive parenting basically aims to promote children's development and manage children's behaviors in a constructive and non-hurtful way. It is based on good communication and positive attention to help the children develop. And children who grow with positive parenting are likely to develop the skills and feel good about themselves. Positive parenting includes having a safe and interesting environment for your children. Well, what does that look like? A safe and healthy, interesting environment. It's a play environment that promotes children's well-being and their growth. Children need an interesting environment that provides plenty of opportunity to explore, discover, and experiment and develop their skills. So a home that is full of interesting things to do will stimulate your child's curiosity as well as their language and their intellectual development. Having a positive learning environment. Having a positive and learning environment allows children to learn how to do things on their own. It encourages them by encouragement and giving them positive attention, you help to promote your child's learning. So when you see your child doing something, such as putting a puzzle together, maybe they're reading a book and they stumble on a word, or they stumble on a piece that they don't know where it goes, you kind of just talk them through it and you teach them how to solve that problem on their own. Using assertive discipline. So assertive discipline does not mean to be punitive. It's being consistent, acting quickly when your child misbehaves, and teaching them the behaviors that you'd like for them to do. And then having realistic expectations. Problems will arise, but having realistic expectations not only of your child, but of yourself will help. No one's perfect. Your children aren't perfect, and you aren't perfect as a parent. So expect that some things will go wrong, and just know that that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself and don't be hard on your child, because again, no one is perfect. And then the most important piece is taking care of yourself as a parent. Parents often leave themselves out. And if you aren't well, if you are sick, if you are ill, then how can you help take care of someone else, right? Being a parent is much easier when you and your partner have taken care of themselves. So let's look at some essential steps to positive parenting. When we think about spending time with our children, we're not saying that, you need to spend 20, 30 minutes with your child. Just 5 minutes is spending time with your child. If your child comes to you with a question, stop what you're doing and do your best to answer that question. That's just spending some quality time with your child. Talk with your child. Again, 5-10 minutes. You don't have to sit there and have a full conversation, but when they come and they ask a question, answer the question the best to your ability. And if you don't know the answer, don't make it up. Just tell them you don't know the answer, and you'll get back to them once you get the answer. Show your child affection. Now remember, some children are sensitive to touch, sensitive to smells, and so there's multiple ways that you can show your child affection without actually physically hugging and touching them. So some ways of showing affection to your child is winking your eye, nodding your head and smiling. You can give them a high five. You can give them a fist pound. You can give them a positive praise. So you don't always have to physically hug and kiss to show that you're affectionate with your child. Again, you got to remember every child is different, and some children, they don't like to be touched, and that's okay. Praise your child when they're doing things that you like. So if you happen to catch them and they're playing well with their sibling or a friend, praise them for that. Tell them you like how they're playing nicely with each other. If you catch your child cleaning their room up and you haven't asked them to do that, praise them for that. Praise them for cleaning their room. That way you'll see more positive things come out of your children. They'll be able to behave and do the things that you expect them to do. Give your child attention. Again, that's that. Stop doing what you're doing. I know life is busy. I know as parents we're busy and we're always constantly going. But if you stop and you give your child attention when they're asking for it, then you give them less room to act out in a negative way or in a way that you don't like. And have interesting activities for your children. So often we forget to include them in things, especially if you're doing a long bus ride or a long car trip. We forget to include our kids in activities, and you can have things in the car for them to do, or you can create things for them to do in the car. But you want to give them interesting activities to do. That again gives them less room to act out and misbehave. Be clear and specific with your children. When you see your children doing something that you don't like, you want to be specific and you want to be clear, but you want to describe the behavior that you like or that you want them to do. So if they're jumping on a bed, you want to say, you need to stop jumping on the bed. Ask them, what do? We sit on the bed, right? So you should be sitting on the bed, not jumping on the bed. Try to be enthusiastic as a parent. I know it can be hard, especially in the midst of a crisis. With COVID going on, everybody being stuck in, not able to go out and do things that we normally do, but try to be enthusiastic as a parent. Enjoy being a parent, because some people aren't parents and they wish they could be. So just remember, be happy. You don't have to be over the top. You don't have to be sarcastic with it, but just be happy to be a parent. And the old school saying, mean what you say and say what you mean, still stands. So if you tell them don't run in the house, don't allow them to run in the house, not even one time. You want to change that behavior right away. Example, we all know our children watch us. They watch us from the time we get up until the time they go to bed. They watch everything we do and they pick up everything we do. So make sure that we are setting a good example for our kids when we're talking to people, when we're talking to them, when talking to other kids. You want to make sure you're setting a good example. Use incidental teaching when you can. And that just simply means when they're struggling with something, assist them, but don't just give them the answer right away. Unless you see they just absolutely can't get it, then you can go ahead and give it. But it's always good to teach our children versus just giving them the answer. You can use ask, say, do with your kids. And this is simply asking them about what it is they're trying to do. Ask them if they know how to do it. Have them repeat back to you the instructions and then have them show you. For example, if they want to wash their own hair, ask them. So okay, you want to wash your hair. So what's the first thing that you need to do to be able to wash your hair? Well, of course, they need shampoo. So they should be able to tell you, oh, I have to get the shampoo. Okay. And then you ask them, what's the next step? The next step would be to wet their hair, put the shampoo in, and rinse it out. And so if they can give you those instructions, then go ahead and let them go ahead and do it. Be close by so that you can assist them, but let them go ahead and do the activity that they're wanting to do. Now, if you've tried all of these positive parenting steps and you still find out that you're having behavioral issues with your kids, try using a behavioral chart. A behavioral chart can be used for any behavior that you want to change. Just remember, when you're using that behavior chart, you want to use it in a positive manner. And so if the behavior that they're doing is yelling in the house, then you would want to phrase that as, I need you to use a soft voice in the house. And every time they yell, they don't earn a sticker or a smiley face or whatever it is that you're using on the behavior chart. But every time they do meet that goal, you want to give them their sticker, their smiley face, or whatever. You want to have some kind of incentive at the end. Use your behavior chart for a week. I would say no longer than 2 weeks. That behavior should go away, and you want to phase that behavior chart out or pick up something different to use as a behavior. You also want to remember to praise your child for the behaviors that they've improved on. Now, parenting with mindfulness in the middle of a crisis can be hard. So what I'd like for you to do is right now, wherever you are, we're going to listen to 2 different types of mindfulness exercises. The first one is just some really soft music. I'm going to play it, and I want you to just pay attention to the music. Close your eyes, let yourself go, and just listen to the music that's in the background. Okay, wasn't that soothing and relaxing? For some, it probably wasn't, because they can't relax when they're listening to music. And so another way that you can relax and clear your mind is to just listen to nature's sound. So our next audio is simply just the tropical island beach. While you're sitting there, I want you again, close your eyes and just think about either sitting on the sand, listening to the ocean, or just walking through the beach shoreline while everybody else is playing in the water, or just lying on the beach. Imagine yourself that you are just there. Okay, as I bring you back. So you might be asking, what is the purpose of me just trying to zone out and listen to, the beach or the ocean or just some relaxing music? Although I'm not a doctor, evidence does support and say that meditation is very effective when you're stressed out, when you're suffering pain, when you have anxiety, when you're suffering from depression, when you're suffering from insomnia, or even if you have high blood pressure. When you take the time to meditate, even if it's just for 60 minutes, research indicates that this can help you relax and help you de-stress. It allows you to experience what's going on in that moment. It can help you improve your attention. It can decrease your job burnout. It can help improve you sleeping, right? It can also help to improve some of your diabetic control stuff if you're suffering from diabetes. Meditation allows you to pay attention to the things that are going on for you, and it allows you to pull yourself into a relaxed state. Hopefully you found that helpful. At the end of this, there is a link to both of those. They are on YouTube, and you can download them to your devices if you have them. And they're a lot longer than what I played for you, but they are very soothing, very relaxing, and they do help. So now let's look at helping our children to understand the COVID virus. Before I do my speech on COVID, I'm going to show you a quick skit that you can watch that will also help you to learn what you can say to your kids during this time.
Nothing like an early morning jog to Phew. What? Oh, stop it. Dear Tim and Moby, I've been hearing lots of scary stuff in the news about the coronavirus. Can you tell me more about it, please? Thanks, Khalil. Sure thing, Khalil. Viruses are tiny particles that can invade living cells. There are millions of varieties with different behaviors, shapes, and structures. Coronaviruses are one group, named for their crown-shaped outline. 4 of these commonly infect humans. A lot of times when you get a cold, it's caused by a coronavirus. Any virus has one goal, to replicate or make more copies of itself. But it can't do that on its own, so it invades an organism and turns its cells into virus factories. This can be unpleasant for the host, the organism that the virus has infected. The new coronavirus typically causes coughing and fever. A healthy body can usually fight off this illness, known as COVID-19, on its own. Symptoms are mild for most people, especially kids. But in a body with weakened defenses, COVID-19 can become more severe and require medical treatment. Some people get seriously ill, and that's gotten everyone's attention. This new coronavirus was first identified in Wuhan, China. In late 2019, there was an outbreak. That's when a disease starts spreading. More and more people got sick, first in China and then around the world. Entire cities have been quarantined or closed off to slow the disease's spread. Fortunately, viruses can't get around without our help. And there's a lot we can do to not help them. Like washing your hands, especially after you use the bathroom and before you eat. That's always a good idea, and you probably already do it. Scrub with soap for at least 20 seconds to make sure you don't miss any spots. Whenever you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth to help keep any germs contained. And if you're sick, avoid other people. You wouldn't want to infect them, even if it's a plain old cold. Well, when there's an outbreak where you live, experts recommend some added precautions. like social distancing, limiting close contact with other people, even if you're not sick. Hang out at home with your family and keep up with your friends online. That gives the virus fewer opportunities to spread around. Lots of outbreaks have been stopped when enough folks just follow these simple rules. Yeah, it's true. Some people have died after being infected by the 2019 coronavirus. That's because the virus can infect a person's lungs and make it hard to breathe. Those are the stories we hear about most online and in the news. But the vast majority of cases have been mild. If you feel overwhelmed by the news, consider limiting how much you let in. Instead of cable news and social media, stick to sources like the World Health Organization. They'll give you the big picture, not just the scary snapshots that make the headlines. And they're organizing experts all over the world to get this coronavirus under control. Still, it's totally normal if the situation's made you a little anxious. Talk to a trusted adult. They can help you put your feelings in perspective. One last thing. Coronavirus doesn't care where you're from or what your background is. So don't let anyone turn this into an excuse to target someone based on how they look. Working together is how we'll beat this thing, so let's stand up for our neighbors. Okay, I'm a sweaty mess. I gotta rinse off. Oh, don't be so dramatic. Where are you going? I really think you're overreacting.
And this will be available to you at the end of the whole presentation. We have, there's some paperwork, some worksheets you can actually download on how to talk to your children about the coronavirus. And there's also a link to this website where you can actually allow your kids to watch the video. So you might be thinking, how do I actually talk to my child about COVID-19? First, you want to find out, what does your child know? Ask them questions geared toward their age, of course. So you might want to say, so what have you heard about COVID-19? Or what questions do you have? For younger children, you might say, do you have questions about the sickness that's going around or that we keep hearing about on the news? Give your kids a chance to learn and tell you what it is that they want to know. Follow your child's lead. Sometimes kids want to spend time just talking. They want to tell you everything and they just want you to listen. But if your kids don't seem interested or if they don't have a lot of questions, that's okay. You don't have to go into anything, but you want to be as comforting and honest as you can with your kids about COVID-19. You don't want to add any fear to them if they already have some fear about it. You don't want to add to that. Try to stay as calm as possible and reassuring. Even if you don't understand everything, be honest and let them know, hey, you know, I don't really know everything either. I only know what I'm hearing about on the news. Give them space so that they can share their fears. Let them tell you what it is that they're scared about and then talk about it. Help your kids feel in control. Give them specific things that they can do to feel in control. Teach kids that getting lots of sleep, washing their hands often will help them stay strong and well. And although it may not 100% prevent it, it is part of the prevention methods from getting COVID. Talk to your kids about all the things that are happening to keep people safe. Don't always talk about what we hear in the news about all the people that are dying. Talk about the things that are keeping people safe. Talk about the people who are healing, who actually got COVID-19. They ended up in the hospital. They ended up incubated. However, they were able to come out of it and now they're at home and they're getting better. Talk about those stories as well. Keep the conversation going by checking in with your child. Use the COVID as a way to keep kids learning about their bodies, like how our immune systems, when they're healthy, can help fight off diseases. And talk about current events often with your kids. Don't just focus on COVID. Talk about other things that are going on in society with everybody. COVID is not the only thing that's going on right now. It's one of the primary focuses, but that's not the only current event that our children need to know about that's going on in our world for us right now. So now we're going to talk about the importance of self-care. And you'll get to listen to Les Brown as he teaches you how to focus on yourself and why we need to focus on ourselves. Because like I said in the beginning, if we are not healthy, if we are in bad health, then how can we help someone